So this morning, I kind of want to talk about the whole Facebook jail thing, and then maybe we'll talk a little bit about recruiting specific. But Trisha and I feel kind of bad. I might have a little bit to do with why Trisha's in jail. So here's another thing.
She is in trouble. She needs to go to timeout.
So Trisha thinks that her Facebook jail sentence stemmed from, hold on, let me make sure everybody's muted.
There are two ways it could be. And I found out there's another way. It may not have been you, but it could have been your fault.
Sorry. What are the two ways you think?
So the first one, so I shared a post. I also was having a Norwex party last week, and it was off of Squee, like totally off of Facebook. And my gal told me that because of Facebook's guidelines, like if you share posts on your personal page with links to another website, that Facebook will strip them. So just so you know, like that's what she told me. So I shared about my Norwex party, and I'm like, hey, everybody, like, thank you so much. I'm only $50 away from my goal. So there are three things, actually, three. So number one, it's the fact that I shared about a party and me being $50 away from a goal. So like numbers related to a goal, and like the fact that it's money related and not like, I think there's something that could be there. Number two, the Google image that I shared. So Jody Dillman said that there was something shared to her that if you share an image that you pulled from Google, Facebook guidelines Facebook wants us to be genuine, you guys. So pulling images from Facebook, that's technically stealing someone's intellectual property. We don't have their permission per se to use it. So unless you are getting something, well, I don't know if you alter it. I don't know. The only way that I know that we are like totally safe for using things is if we get it off of marketing imagery off of Pampered Chef, because we're consultants, we're released to use it. If we use it from one of the PC groups, like that is Pampered Chef related, like it's something that's out there, and then you know, if we make our own using Word Swag or Canva or one of those. I don't know if you alter it. I just know that I pulled mine off of Google and I used it because it was a Norwex party reminder wrap-up thing. So another one is I had tagged people in it as reminders, and I tagged Danny, and I don't even know why I tagged you. I think you were just on my list, and I was like, boop, because I tag you in all sorts of things. Danny untagged herself. So what she thinks is maybe because Facebook thinks that I spammed her because it wasn't a picture of her. It was a generated post talking about something related to money and a party, and I tagged Danny, and maybe they thought I was spamming Danny trying to get money or whatever. And Danny was like, bitch, I'm not giving you money. So boop, and untagged herself. So Danny could possibly be the reason that I'm on the inside right now in Facebook jail. My husband thinks he's super funny. He's like, what's it like to be on the inside? And I was like, it's dark and lonely in here because you can't do anything. Like you can post and you can comment. So it's not super bad. I mean, you can comment, or you can post and you can message, which is good. So like you're not completely locked out of running your business, but it's still a pain in the butt because you can't comment. But I think I found a temporary loophole. Found two temporary loopholes. I found two. Can I share my two, Danny? And then I will let you go on your, okay. So number one is I created an alternative Facebook page, and it's Trish Lowe PC, and I actually gave Danny that little nugget to try, and we are going to try it. So that is how I was able to go into all of my, because you can still add people to parties when you're in Facebook jail. So I went in and added myself to all my parties, and I was able to go into my backup account and finish commenting on everything and logging it all out. Number 2, and this comes from Jody Dillman. If you have a business page, there is a plus side, because I found out you can run group parties through your business page. So how that is, and I still don't understand the dynamics, I guess, because I still feel like it's your Facebook running through Post My Party. So I don't know if this will be valid or not. But Jody Dillman said that she is, like, when you go to Post My Party, you can run the parties through your business page. So technically your business page is posting into all the groups. However, it's still linked to your Facebook, so I don't know if it will mess up if you comment the same time it's running. But I like being able to have 2 Facebooks, because I could use my new Facebook page to basically run all my parties from, and then my normal Facebook page is open to do whatever the heck I want to during the day without restriction, because I'm not going to be commenting or posting at the same time. Does that make sense to everybody? Everyone is not awake yet. So like if you have like one Facebook group, like this is my main Facebook page, and then I have my PC Trish Lowe page. They're both Facebook, but like the Trish Lowe PC would be running all of my parties through Post My Party. And then this one is the one where I would go in and be able to live my life from. Like I wouldn't have to have timers set or whatever to not comment or anything. Which the reason that we question whether it's that Norwex post is because when I got put in jail, it said because of this post. And then it had me go through and validate all of my comments and posts I've made in the past however long and all the things. So I don't know.
But also, with that being said, like, Facebook goes through updates, you guys, where occasionally it puts our business in a spot where we just want to punch people in the face, for lack of a better term. But it will be temporary. We may have to adjust how we run our businesses, but I always bring this up. About a little over a year ago, Facebook did this whole, like, everything crashed. Facebook got, I want to say, hacked, and they had to go through an update of basically all third-party apps got locked out of Facebook, and they individually, it took probably 2 or 3 months for Facebook to get back to normal. Because they had to individually go through every single app that was trying to access people's Facebooks, or people allowing them to access their Facebooks, to be able to make sure that that wasn't where the breach in their system came from. I don't remember the specifics on it, but so
it was horrible. It was horrible.
It was awful. So Post My Party used to be able to post in events. For those of you who are new, you know that Post My Party is only able to access groups now. And I was doing all of my events or my parties through events, and I was using Post My Party. The day that it got shut down was my very first day on my very first incentive trip with Pampered Chef that I had ever earned. We had just gotten to Florida. I had 6 parties running. All through my vacation, I was having to manually post. It was awful, you guys. My vacation was no longer a vacation. So during that, I was so against groups. I was like, I've heard all these bad things about groups. I don't want to switch to groups, blah, 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 all this stuff. But I loved my posting app, and I was like, I need my posting app because it helps me and it helps my business. So after that week-long journey of having to manually post in my events, I decided to jump on the group bandwagon. And even though I was resistant, I am now, over a year later, still using groups because I adjusted because of the upset that happened with Facebook. So as things like this happen, we adjust, we grow, we do new things, and sometimes we realize that the new thing that we're about to do is going to help our business and further it even further. So just know that everything that we're going through right now, we are fine. Just take a breath. It happens. We will work through it. Pampered Chef is on top of this, you guys. Like, they want to make sure that we are going to be successful. So anything and everything that we have or we're going through, document, tell me, tell Trisha, like, we can get this back to home office and they can better assist us, because if they don't know, they're not out there in the Facebook world doing parties and doing what we're doing. So they need to know from us what is happening to us so they can help us even more. I know a lot of the upper level directors are already on top of things. Like, as things are coming with their teams, they're going to Facebook or going to the virtual party council, all of that. So anything that you guys have that can help us too, like if something happens to you, you get thrown in Facebook jail, reach out to us and tell us, like, if you know what happened, or maybe you were doing something specific at that specific time. Like Trisha, she had that post that it literally told her, this is what happened. Which, Trisha, remind me, because I can message Rachel at home office today and let her know about that specific post and see if it's happening to anybody else. Okay. But also, like, when you're in jail, let us know what's going on. Are you still able to post? I figured out last night I can't share posts while I'm in jail. I tried to share my live video into my groups and I couldn't, so I had to go to my alternate Facebook thing and add it to my groups that way, which still worked. I shared it. But the other thing that's happening, when you create a new account, people who are on your friends list are going to see that page. Even if you're not talking to them through that page, they will get this little thing that says suggested friends, and they will see you and they will start messaging you. So I went live on my actual page and told everybody what was going on. I was like, Facebook jail is real, you guys. This is what happened. This is why I have this separate account. And I still have people messaging me, but all I say is, go back and watch my live video at 4:30 yesterday. Like, this explains why. But I told Trisha last night, it has given me the opportunity because people are reaching out to me about my Facebook, and I can tell them, you know what, I just have such a crazy work schedule that Facebook wants to shut me down, but this is going to keep me going. Like, how would you like to shove it to the man and book a party with me? So I am out there promoting my business even in times of stress. And I even started talking to somebody about being part of our team last night. So these things, just like, laugh it off, you guys, because yes, it can be stressful, but there's absolutely nothing we can do other than try to find the best in all situations and work through them. So if you are feeling frustrated, if you feel like you don't know what you need to do, like, reach out to us. We can help you. Like, this is not the end of the world. We will work out everything. So,
but like Danny said, use it to your advantage. I mean, you could totally make a funny picture of you and like make it like it look like you're in jail, and it's like, do like post a party and help free me from jail, or like host, like, do something really quirky. People would respond with that. Like, you know, it'd be really funny. Like, you could do something and use it to your advantage. So it sucks and it's horrible. And I thought I was like in the clear. And then last night I was like really working my business. And then also so I don't know. I was working my business, but I do that every Friday night. Like, I'll go through and comment and do all the things and post winners. But then that post, I don't know. So who knows what it was, but you know, everybody got a good kick out of it. And my husband's obnoxious in the background. And, yeah, so don't freak out. Like, I know it sucks and it's horrible, but you can either let it take you down or you can use it as motivation. Danny and I'm going to use this to kind of springboard into our conversation we were having last night about our little challenge. Danny and I are taking this as an opportunity. So, right, we can't really do anything. We can't send friend requests. I don't know if we can send friend requests. Have you tried? You can? Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So,
but don't send too many at one time.
No, don't do that. So you are still able, in the large scheme of things, able to run your business, right? You can. Does it suck that you can't comment on things for a few days? Yes, it does. But you know what? You can still do a backup Facebook page. It takes 20 minutes to set it up. It's a pain, but it's a solution. and it's a step forward. So Danny and I were talking, and let me ask this first, not even related to the jail thing. Who is riding the struggle bus with bookings for summertime? Can anybody raise their hand? Who is having a hard time with bookings for summer? Me right here, I'm having a hard time. And I mean, mostly, like, my June is good, but it's mostly for July. Like July and August, the pickings are slim. And so last night I was blocked out from commenting and I wanted something to do. So I started thinking of a way that I could start filling my summer. I mean, I can send messages to guests, but that's a very limited pool of people, right? So the first thing that I want you guys to do is go and look at your friends list. And I want you to share how many friends you have on Facebook. Because I can guarantee, right? Go in the chat bar, and I want you to share how many friends do you have on Facebook?
Also, while you're doing that, let me answer Anita's question real quick. So Anita said, my recruit somehow had Post My Party running in an event in a group. I don't know, but it was. So there's that. In groups, you can create a group event and have your Post My Party post in that, only because that group event cannot be linked to your phone's calendar. That was the reason they shut down Post My Party in events, because events, like, your phone can sync to that, and they didn't want third-party posting apps having access to people's phones. Like, it was a whole big security breach thing. So yes, you can link them to Facebook group events, but the same thing with that is, like, the people who are going to those events still have to be in that group. So, I mean, it's similar to running an event, but people still have to click join to the group to have access to that event. So I hope that answered anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so everybody is sending in their numbers. So the reason that I'm asking while those are still coming in is the average is 1 out of every 8 to 10 people that you ask. It's usually around 10 during the summertime because everybody is busy. So we'll just say 10 for the sake of summertime. 1 out of every 10 people you ask will book a party. But booking a party can largely be determined on the wording that you use. So how do we grow our business, right? Everything is tied to bookings. So whether we're looking for recruit leads, whether we're looking for bookings, whatever, it's all connected to having a full calendar. So looking at those numbers, if you were to message every single person, you would probably be able to fill your calendar, correct? Like, depending on how many bookings you wanted to fill, 1 out of every 10, if you had 650 people, on average, that would be about 65 bookings, yes? Everybody's looking at their phones, I know, but, right? Like, that is the average. So I sat and I had to have, like, a hard heart-to-heart mental discussion with myself the other day. I have, like, 1,700 friends, and I was, like, really riding the struggle bus, and I told Danny, I was like, I had to really tell myself, though, I have 1,700 people. They're not all going to say no. But you have to start somewhere. So what we did last night is Danny and I challenged each other. So if you have a PIC and you are wanting a way to not do a booking blitz, but to kind of do a booking blitz, over the weekend, I want you to challenge your PIC. Oh, there's our conversation. To comment, or not comment, to, I'm finding our words. To see who can book more parties this weekend. And I will give you the words. I will give them to you, and you can share them with your PIC, because if they're not in this group, that's fine. But I will give you the words, and I want to see between the two of you who can book more parties this weekend. So this is called green dot messaging. And I hate that word because I message people that aren't even online. A green dot is showing that they're active. It means that they're on Facebook right now or have been on Facebook during the day, whatever. But it's just a message, and it's basically a reach out message, okay? So what we came up with is basically like asking how they're doing and then asking for their help. And it's it's a little bit lengthy, but at the same time, we felt like it was valid information. So, and Chelsea, even if they're out of service this weekend, you could still send them out. And you can chat with them on Monday and say, hey, do you want to do a 3-day challenge or whatever? You don't have to wait for them to be able to do this. Like, even if you would just want to challenge yourself, and you can message Danny or I and say, hey, oh my gosh, I booked this many. We will celebrate with you. And maybe if you beat one of us, like, we'll do something special. Like, we'll find a way to make it fun. But I want us to really be motivated. So the words are, and I will share them in the Rockstars on the Rise thing. Hey lady, hope you're having an amazing start to your summer. I'm wondering if you would be interested in helping me. I'm working towards a really big goal this summer, and I was hoping you would want to help me out. I'm really wanting to make a big splash with PC, and to be able to make that happen, I need to fill my calendar to the brim. I'm running a special party offer for hosts who book a party for the month of July or August. And each person that says yes will be entered to win a brand new summer product for free and get a new cookbook as a thank you. I'd love to spoil your kitchen in the process, and it's super easy to host. What do you think of getting friends together for a fun and easy party on Facebook this summer and get entered to win the big bonus gift? So it's asking them to help me out, but also saying, this is really going to benefit you and your kitchen, and it's fun, and it's easy, and it's fast. Like, yes, they're going to help me fill my calendar, but it's also going to get them free stuff in their kitchen. They're getting a season's best as a thank you. You guys, they're $1 each. Like, I can afford $1 per person, and then I'll give away a summer product. It doesn't have to break the bank, but it's something that is accessible and easy. And if you need help with it, reach out and we can try and help you. But it doesn't have, and you can even say, you know, my director is doing a giveaway. Like, you, whatever you need to, chat with your director and we can help you out. But I am challenging you to either challenge yourself or challenge your PIC or whatever, to really try and use that this weekend to get some bookings to start filling your July. Because like we're going to talk about today, having a full calendar is what's going to give you those hostesses and those guests to talk to about the business. Because if you don't have anybody, you have no way to grow, right? Okay, now I'm going to let Danny talk because I've been talking the whole time.
One thing I will touch about the messaging and doing the green dotting, as you're doing it, make sure you set aside like some time here and there. Don't go full bore all weekend. Don't sit down and send out 50 messages in a row. With Facebook being as sensitive as it is right now, we do not want to anger the Facebook gods and get like blocked from messaging, because that will completely shut you down and then you can't run a business. So be very aware and very intentional about it. Do not send it to people who have not accepted your friend request.
Nope.
Those people, it will flag you if you send too many of those. And I'm telling you right now, you do not want to know what happens when you get blocked from Facebook messages. Trisha, you had your hand raised.
Send them in groups of 5 to 10 messages at a time, and then get up and fold laundry or go take a shower or go for a walk, and then come back and do 5 to 10 more, and then get up and go do something. Mm-hmm. Take about a 20 to 30 minute break in between groupings, because, you know, or like if you're sending, you know, groups of messages, make sure that you're mixing it up and not just copy, paste, send, copy, paste, send, copy, paste, send. Like, make sure you mix it up with, you know, copy, paste, send a couple, and then go have a conversation with someone, like an actual legitimate back and forth conversation, because then it doesn't look like all you're doing is spamming people, because it can look as though you're sending out spam if all you're doing is copy, paste, send. So take breaks. No more bad jail.
Yeah, because Facebook is really cracking down on, like, they can flag repetitive stuff and they think that you're a robot, or they think that you've been hacked and you have now, that's when your Facebook will be like completely locked out, and they'll be like, it looks like you have been hacked, basically, like somebody has hacked into your profile. even though somebody hasn't. Trust me, it's happened to me before, and they like make you go through the process of, did you post this? Did you add this friend? And did you do this? And it's like, it's obnoxious, and it's just, it sucks. But I know we just talked a bunch about all of that stuff, and I'm really happy that we did. We're probably going to go over 30 minutes this morning, so if you have to hop off, I totally understand. You can catch the last tail end of it on the recording. I wanted to talk a little bit this morning about my neighbor just told me that I have a sprinkler watering the road. About the recruiting conversation and who is having it and how many times a week you are. So by a show of like fingers, I know there's only a few of us with our video on, or if you're on and can only chat in the chat bar, go ahead and type it in. The first 2 weeks of this month, so we're halfway through the month, I want to see by a show of fingers, maybe you guys, I'm hoping maybe there's more than you have on your hands. How many people have you talked to this month about the business? I'll be honest, you guys, the lack of fingers I am seeing on this screen scares the living daylights out of me. Okay, Vicky says at least 10. I can handle that. Every single week, we should be talking to at least a handful, which is 5 people about the business. Whether it's a host, I mean, we're in this program to further our business, right? We want directorship. We want all the things with our business. Sorry, I'm reading chats too. And by filling our calendars, we are going to have easier access to that. There's also ways to kind of do plugs on your personal Facebook or in your business page. I mean, we should be finding all the ways to put our business out there to create that conversation, to create the desire for this business. And doing it in like through the heart and intentional, and doing things to where we're not just like, hey, so have you ever thought about doing Pampered Chef? Here's my website link. Like, go check it out. If you have any questions, let me know. Like, the way I'll give examples of how I'm doing it. I share some days where I'm just sitting at home with my kids, or I'm watching them play in the pool, or on my kids' sick days where I'm at home with them, but I don't have the stresses of knowing that I'm missing work because I had to go pick my kids up and I'm now at home with them. Granted, this is my full-time job, so, but there are other ways that you guys who do have jobs can feel blessed by this business. And by sharing your heart and sharing your why and sharing why you started, sharing why you keep going. A perfect example is one of our very brand new team members, Vanessa. She just got her very first recruit last night. And I want to go back to our conversation. So last night, I was literally sitting down to dinner, and she wanted me to call so that we could go over. She has this gal that's excited, that's kind of worried about the business, but the conversation was started, and she wanted, because she's very brand new, so she was like, I kind of want help walking through. And I was like, can it wait about an hour? I just sat down and we can chat it over. Well, while I was eating dinner, I got a notification saying that this gal ended up just signing up. And I messaged her. I was like, oh my gosh, your girl just signed up. She goes, yeah, we ended up getting on the phone. I didn't want to wait. We just chatted and I walked her through it and she signed up. And I'm like, well, how did this happen? Like, how's everything? Like, how did it start? So it stemmed from one of the Facebook or the party posts in her party, which was on the last day. So if you guys are familiar with the template that I use, it's literally the second to last post in the party that says last call for orders. I don't know if you guys can see that. So if you go back to that post, on it, it says, last call, don't miss out on claiming your goodies before we close up shop. Couldn't get everything on your wish list this time? No worries. Grab what you can't live without at this party, and let's get yours on the books for the rest for free and highly discounted. Also, if you had so much fun and you're asking yourself, could I do this Pampered Chef thing too? My answer is yes, you totally can. This business is made for everyone. I'd love to have you on our rapidly growing team. That is the post. And this girl, her new recruit, had commented on it and was sharing her concerns. Like, I'd love to do it, but I just don't know, and blah, blah, blah. So that opened up the conversation, and Vanessa reached out to her. Vanessa then shared from her heart. She shared why she did this, why she signed up. She's sharing why she's going to keep going. She also shared my story. She shared the upper level directors. She shared other people's stories and not just hers. So use our stories and the other stories that you're hearing as advantages to help you with recruiting conversations. It doesn't have to be like, okay, well, I'm super brand new. I don't have a story, so I can't recruit. Not the case. You have all of these stories, and so many people are going to resonate with so many different stories, so you just don't know which one it's going to be. So if you see a post that I do on Facebook and you want to share that with Facebook world, share away. Be like, you know what? This is my director, or this is my sister consultant, whatever. Like, I am all for sharing. If you want to share my story, go for it. Like, and I hope you guys all want that as well. Like, if you share something on your Facebook and somebody's like, wow, like, I would really like to share that because I think this person would benefit from that. I would hope you would let other people share your stuff too, because this business is all about sharing, and it is creating that desire for community. It's just so many things, and it could be something different to every single person. So share, share, share. And I feel like that was a big to do with why she ended up with that recruit last night, because she was willing to share. She shared her story. I'm not going to share her story because it's pretty personal. But if she is willing to share, honestly, you guys, like, reach out to Vanessa, because I love her. I love her story, and I love why she's doing this business. So I'm hoping, sorry when Vanessa rewatches this, like, sorry, I'm having people like blow you up. But she inspires me because she is brand new, and she is saying, I need this business. I want this business. I know what this can do for me and my family, and I'm going for it. And she's not going to let anything stop her. So I am just very inspired by her. But that is why recruiting conversations can be very important as far as reaching out to people, or even just plugging something somewhere, because had it not been for that post, she would have never reached out to Vanessa, and Vanessa would have never reached out to her. So, Trisha,
can you share those words that you share on that post?
Yes.
Because I always have my last day of the party post, but I love that.
Okay.
And I would like to utilize that. I will change it to make it sound more like me. And also, when we share things, like, don't ever be afraid to use any words like this. Like, obviously, like, I asked Danny before I use it. We always ask each other, but try and change them to sound a little more like you, for two reasons. One, they sound more genuine, and two, so Facebook doesn't flag it as being, like spam, because it could be seen as, some kind of a repeat thing too. So make sure you're trying to make it a little bit genuine and make it sound more like you. Even if you just change a few words here and there, then it's not completely copy.
But I will say, don't tweak it too much to where you lose the meat and potatoes of it, and don't add too much, because if we add too much information, then people go, whoa.
Verbal vomit. Don't verbal vomit on people. There's a fine line.
So
I'm still figuring that out.
I have another question. After we have said, okay, how many do you talk to, or have you talked to this month? How many of you are up for the challenge of talking to at least 5 people a week about the business? And when I say talking to, I don't mean just like reach out and be like, hey, so I just thought about you. Have you ever thought about doing something? Like, find a genuine way to introduce the conversation. Don't just like dive right into it. I do not recommend that. So last night, my recruiting conversation ended up with a gal who had reached out to me like a month or so ago, had said, hey, do you have time to hop on the phone? I kind of have questions about like the Pampered Chef parties. Me not knowing where that conversation was going, I got a little excited because I'm like, oh my gosh, she's a chef. She would totally rock this business. And so my mind started twirling. Well, life happens and we haven't been able to connect. And last night she reached out to me because she saw my other Facebook profile. This is amazing. And I was like, yeah, just go watch my live video, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, but since we're on the topic, I remember you asking me about Pampered Chef parties. Like, what can I help you with? What kind of questions did you have? Like, what's up? And she goes, oh, well, my mom was thinking about having one. And I was like, oh, is she wanting to do one online? She's like, no, she was wanting to do an in-person. Do you do that? And I was like, me personally, I don't, but I use this to my advantage. I said, I would love to have another in-home consultant in the Central Oregon area so that when I do get asked about in-home shows, I could hand those to you and you could benefit from that. Have you ever thought of doing something like Pampered Chef? Because I know you're a chef and you would rock this business completely. And so the conversation just kind of went from there. So now it's a conversation, and I can now write her on my list of people I have talked to about the business. If you are not keeping lists, keep a list, because you will forget about somebody that you have talked to about the business. I'm going to tell you right now, I have forgotten about so many in the past that I kick myself now, because I will go back as I'm going through people and I'm like, oh, I haven't talked to them in a while. I click on them and we literally left the conversation off about the business. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I never followed up with this person. And when 6 months to a year passes, it's kind of hard to get back into that conversation other than, hey, so I know we haven't talked in 6 months, but are you still interested in doing Pampered Chef? So it just doesn't really come off that well. So I'm working on me as a person too, guys. It's not 2 years in and I'm still struggling sometimes. But yes, do you guys have any questions or concerns or anything about anything? Vanessa, you just hopped on and I totally offered you up, just so you know. I shared your story. I shared your story last night about your new recruit and how I love that you share from your heart and your story is amazing. And I said that your story is very personal and I wasn't going to share it, but if you would be willing to share it with people,
I don't care at all.
Okay. Well, I told people if they wanted to chat with you and ask how you're sharing from the heart, that they could blow your inbox up, basically.
Well, thank you so much.
Yes. So
sorry, I tried to get onto the meeting and then a bunch of patients had come in.
Oh, you're totally fine. It's recorded, so you can rewatch it.
Okay.
Okay, so does anybody have any questions, concerns, anything else on the Facebook jail, anything about reaching out about the business, about how to do plugs about the business, anything, all the things, anything completely off topic, doesn't matter. Nothing.
I will share from my girls that are listening. I'm going to try and post a post today. I'm going to be updating and letting everybody know like my hours of availability. One thing as a director, you do not have to work your business every second of every day to be successful. Time management is a thing, and it's something that you need to do or you will feel like you are drowning. I feel like I have a very huge heart, so I want to save everyone and help everyone and do all the things. But I know most of you, like me, join this business because you want to be able to help your family, but also have a life, right? Like, yes, you could work this business full time and do it all day and all night. And I have for a while because my husband's not working. And for us right now, this is our only income. But I want you to know that it's okay to have work hours. It's okay to not respond right away to certain things. It's okay to go play with your kids in your yard or go for a run or go camping or whatever. It is okay to have a life and still be successful. So for my girls, I will be updating in the tribe page my hours of availability. And so like I say to my hostesses, I am always available, but if I don't respond right away, don't take it personally. So you as aspiring leaders and future directors, know that it's okay to not respond right away. No, unless it's like an emergency and someone's like, my hair's on fire, I need help. You know what I mean? Like, unless they're like, I'm dying and this is like crucially important, help me, like you can get the feel with the normal little message thing that pops up. It's okay to do you and to take time for yourself. Self-care is so important, my friends. Like it is.
And I kind of want to add to that. I will share, and I will be very vulnerable and vulnerable. It's early, guys. And real with you all. When we as leaders start to build a larger team, there is quite a bit that could come with that. But I had a conversation with our wonderful, fearless, amazing Kristen Wieringa. If you guys are unsure who she is, like, reach out to me because you guys want to know who this girl is. She is amazing.
She is all the goals.
And yes, she is all the goals. But what I came to realize, and this is something that when you start getting into leadership, I really hope you think about, because sometimes we look at our leaders and we think, oh my gosh, look at all the things that they're doing. They do this, they do that. Just realize that when you're in a leadership role, you don't have a boss, you guys. You can do your business exactly how you want to do your business. Like doing these every Saturday, I love doing them because, I mean, look at this. We are like a community of strong women who are building their business and building an empire and building a future. So like this is fun for me. I don't mind getting up at, I'll be honest, I didn't get out of bed till 6:40 this morning, still in my pajamas. So like it's not, like I had a very real conversation with Kristen when I, in my head, was like, I want, because at the beginning of the year, they announced that Paris trip for executives and all these big, great things. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Paris, I want it. But then I started stressing myself out because I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to do this. I have to do this. I've got to do all this. And it became more of, oh my gosh, like an agenda that I had to keep up on. And I've shared this with Trisha, and I'm sharing this to be real. I'm not sharing this to be like, scare you guys or intimidate you guys or anything. But I had the real conversation with Kristen, and I was like, I don't know if I want to be an executive. Look at everything that you're doing. I don't have time to do all that. I can't travel to home office once a month. I can't do all the things. I can't do all of these other things. And she goes, Danny, stop. Like, just because I do it, that doesn't mean you have to. And I'm like, well, but I want to be successful. And she goes, well, Claudia over here, she can only travel to home office like once a year. Like she doesn't travel. She doesn't do all the things that Kristen does. But Claudia is also a very successful, didn't she just promote to national?
Mm-hmm.
So she is a national executive director in the company, which is the highest level of director you can be. And she still has a family. She has all of these things, but she runs her business successfully how she wants to run it. So when you see all of us doing all these things, there are some things that you're going to want to do as a leader, like trainings and being there for your team and doing certain things, but you don't have to do all the things. You find your way and you do it. That's all it is. Yeah. You tweak things along the way. You may do something and it doesn't work out for you, and that's fine. You can bless and release and be like, I'm going to try something new and do it this way. You might even be the new trendsetter with home office, and they could be like, what are you doing? Because we want to know what you're doing. So just know that as leaders in this company, you don't have to be exactly like the people you are watching in this. Create your own story, create your own success. I just feel like that's a huge thing that hit me hard when I was like, I have to be just like Kristen. And I realized I don't. I can be me, and I can do me, and I can be everything possible in this company, and I don't have to mimic somebody else. So I hope that wasn't too much of like a, why did she just share all that? But yes.
Because this is leadership training, and that is from a leader, from our heart, because we want what's best for all of you.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I'm almost done with my coffee, guys.
I haven't had any yet, so that's why I'm like, maybe there's vodka in her coffee this morning.
No vodka. I'd be back in bed. Okay. Well, I see people are starting to hop off. We're at the 45-minute mark. I'm really trying to keep these to 30 minutes, guys, but the whole Facebook jail thing had to be discussed this morning. So what would we like should we do Facebook jail as our keyword, our playback word?
Yeah.
Facebook jail.
Jail.
Is our playback word. Also, this week, I really, really, really want you guys to find some sort of podcast, a couple that I really enjoy. Find one that suits like what you're feeling this week as far as like maybe what you're struggling with. A couple people who I enjoy listening to is Ed Milet. I can share that. And then Jay Shetty. He is like, I get chills just saying his name. He is so inspirational, and I see his Facebook plugs like all over, and I sit there and I watch them. Sometimes I cry, but other times I'm just so inspired by the message he is putting forth. I will share one that I just am super obsessed with, and I listened to it, and afterwards I was just like mind blown. So I'll share a couple of my favorite ones, but honestly, podcasts are amazing, guys. You can find so much inspiration, and you might even surprise yourself at like the message or just something that you hear and you're like, whoa, I never thought of it that way. And then it kind of tweaks your brain and you're just off. So I'll share a couple of mine. Maybe Trisha will share a couple of hers that she really enjoys. But I do recommend listening to a podcast, even if it's just once a week or while you're folding laundry, driving. I listen to mine while I'm driving. But yeah.
Ed Milet is a favorite of mine too. And Rachel Hollis.
Yes.
I love her Rise podcast. She is phenomenal. And she actually shares part of her new book in her podcast. She actually reads them out loud. So if you can't afford her new book, she actually is sharing chapters out of her book. So
that's awesome.
I know, I love it. She is really wonderful, and her whole new book is about doing things without fear and kind of not being ashamed of wanting more. So if you're like me and you feel mom guilt, or you feel guilt for wanting more for yourself or for your business or whatever, I highly recommend her newest book or her podcast for sure.
And Rachel is amazing because she shouted out the entire Pampered Chef community. If you guys don't know who Sharon Zellin, she's also, I believe, a national exec now, or has always been. I don't know. She was on the Good Morning America show, or Good Morning, I don't know. It was on a morning show because she was part of like a chef challenge, and she actually won. But Rachel Hollis was actually there for that same show, and she ran into her and she shared it on the Director Success page. Like, Rachel took her phone and was like, keep going after your dreams, the Pampered Chef world. It was just amazing. It was just so cool. I'll find that video and I'll share it as soon as I'm allowed to share again on Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to hop off. We're going to end this. So if you hopped on late, go ahead and rewatch the replay or whatever. Yes. But we will talk later. Have those recruiting conversations. Have them all.
Yeah. Watch the video tonight after I get home. So it'll be 5 p.m. your guys' time.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay. Well, we will see you guys later. And I'll try to hurry and get this recording up. It takes a while.
I'm going back to work then.
Yeah. Okay. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye.